Weight loss coaches hate me. And the reason is probably the same reason that you struggle with sugar cravings, binge eating, or feel completely out of control with food. Because what I teach, it doesn't fit the old school diet framework that you have been told to trust. That so called trusted system, it didn't just fail you, it failed me, and it's failed many other women. So I challenged it. In this episode, I'm going to show you why the system is actually working against you and how a psychology first approach changes everything. I'm going to break down the exact pattern that I uncovered after years of analyzing emotional eating and how you can get the food obsession to finally stop. Now, I've been getting a lot more haterade online from fellow coaches in the weight loss, nutrition, and the fitness industry. I get comments like, "This is dumb. This is ridiculous. I am an educator. I don't sell gimmicks. Everything you do is just gimmicky." These are opinions. They're from fellow coaches who, in my opinion, we should either be supporting each other or if we don't agree with another coach, just move on. I would never throw shade at a specific coach or call her out. Like that's just low class. However, I am quite vocal about calling out the entire weight loss industry, and that is a hill that I'm willing to die on. And yes, I actually do love sharing the haterade comments that I get, but I'm not going to tell you who said it, and I'm not going to screenshot her profile for everyone to see. The reason that I call out the industry is because this is what the advice actually creates. Have you ever had sugar cravings that were so out of control that you felt like you were possessed? And by that, I mean, I used to ask myself, why is it every time I put a spoon into a brand new pint of salted caramel ice cream, the next thing I know, that spoon, it's in the groove in the bottom of the container, trying to scrape out that every last bit, and I am wishing there was more. Why can't I eat like a normal person? Why doesn't willpower work when I am disciplined AF in all other areas of my life? Why am I completely powerless around ice cream? What is wrong with me? That happened when I was 49 years old. And it was what they call a pivotal moment because I was a fat and overweight health coach. I had 4 health and nutrition certifications on my wall to say that I am qualified to coach. But I wasn't healthy. I couldn't lose weight despite everything I learned in school. And I was ruled by my sweet tooth. And by that, I mean I planned the entire day around chocolate or cookies or ice cream that I was going to get as a reward for getting through the day or getting through a project at work, or for a reward when I got home from running errands, or as a reward for eating healthy all week so that I can indulge more on the weekend. Felt like a complete fraud, and I let the shame just overpower me. But the one thing you will learn about me, that failure, that failure is what fuels me. And I became an absolute psychopath because I wanted to change my own body. But more importantly, it was this drive to completely disrupt the weight loss space and diet culture because the traditional nutrition and diet advice was failing way too many women. I went back to what I was really good at. I was the FBI's chief of staff for counterintelligence. And in that role, I was a pattern ninja. That's all I did. I analyzed the patterns of spies for the division. And then fast forward, I spent months analyzing every single pattern I could think of when it comes to emotional eating. And here's what I uncovered. The emotional eating part of your brain, it doesn't respond to logic or diets or calories. Those sugar cravings and emotional eating, it's driven by your emotions and your mood. If you want to create permanent change, you have to work with your brain in the right order, which is why focusing on food has failed so many women. By the way, if you're getting value out of this video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. And from this, I created the emotional eating forensics framework. Once I understood the cravings are learned emotional patterns and not a lack of discipline, everything finally made sense. I was doubtful at first, But after it worked on me and then it worked on the women I was coaching, I took it to the masses. And since then, several hundred women have used this methodology to break free from their sugar cravings and emotional eating. Like how I helped a marketing manager who used to devour the pantry after dinner, and she completely stopped snacking at night in just 21 days. I started sharing this online, and that's when the claws came out from other weight loss coaches. And that's when things got really fun. I am literally hardwired to go down the rabbit hole because I can't leave any dots unconnected. So when other coaches unfriended me in real life or called me stupid or gimmicky or this will never work or whatever, I realized something. They weren't saying anything new. In fact, they're saying the exact same things that you might be thinking now. This is different. This is a little weird. Why should I trust her? Is this just another thing I'm going to fail? And honestly, if you're thinking that, it makes perfect sense. Because when you've tried everything and nothing works, the diets, the calories, the macros, the points, the willpower, your brain convinces you that you are the problem, not the system. And especially when you see other women and they're getting results with their diet, which convinces you even more this is just how it's supposed to be for me. And when something doesn't fit the only model that you have known for decades, your first instinct is always going to be skepticism, as it should be. It's a survival mechanism. So when I hear someone call what I do weird or gimmicky or what they're really saying is that, Holly, what you do doesn't fit the framework that I have been taught to trust. And when people are deeply invested in a framework, any kind of disagreement can feel like they are being personally challenged. And instead of just looking at this like, hey, this is a different approach. So, yes, a psychology based approach threatens the old model and it removes the entire argument that you aren't disciplined enough. I call complete BS on that. I know the women who have gone through the Break Emotional Eating Accelerator. They are disciplined AF. So, quitting sugar and breaking free from binge eating has nothing to do with discipline. The second you stop blaming yourself and the second you start looking at the strategy is the second you start winning. Here's how I know this isn't just theory. I was on a coaching call with a client the other day. She's struggled with her weight for decades. And she is just like the other women I work with, super smart, successful, disciplined. And she said something that made me pause. She said, at first, Holly, I doubted you. I was like, I don't believe this. And I'm going to prove to her that I can do this on my own. And then 2 days later, I realized, no, actually, I can't do this on my own. And that's when I got mad at you because you were right. And then I was like, this is exactly what I need. This is the shift that I have seen over and over again as I've helped hundreds of women just like her with the emotional eating forensics framework. Women who have tried the diets and they keep gaining weight. Their day is ruled by obsessive sugar cravings. And by obsessive, what I mean is that food addiction that you wake up, you are already mentally going through your rules and the treats and what you've got lined up to eat at exactly what time or exactly when you finish the thing, how you are going to reward yourself from the second you wake up. And it rules your day. If any of this hits home and you found yourself becoming more curious during the episode, and you are ready to find a solution to break up with sugar, either temporarily or permanently, I encourage you to join the 5-day Quit Sugar Addiction Challenge. There is a small fee to join, and I'll leave a link in the show notes below this video, or you can always DM me on Instagram at holly.bertone, Bertone, with the word sugar. And I'll see you there.